Are you looking to move to Atlanta and want to live in the city, but you want to be kind of in the middle of everything, but still have beautiful tree-lined streets like all of these beautiful trees and kind of be in the mix of everything, but also have a pretty good budget? Well, then you might want to consider Morningside. Let's talk all about living in Morningside right now. My name is Molly Sleznick and I am your walking, talking tour guide of all things Atlanta. So if you want to follow along, definitely hit that like and subscribe button and hit that bell so you can be notified when I post a new video. But I am here to help you find a neighborhood that fits your lifestyle and your budget. And so if you have any questions along the way, put them in that comments box below, or you can text, call, or send me an email. I would love to hear from you. I am here to help you out, so anything I can do, I'd be happy to help you out. So without further ado, let's talk about the neighborhood of Morningside. Now, if you watched one of my prior videos, I talked about Virginia-Highland, and just north of Virginia-Highland is the neighborhood of Morningside. In fact, you probably won't even notice the difference when you left Virginia-Highland and entered Morningside. They have very similar home styles and the neighborhoods are pretty similar, but I think what I differentiate with Morningside versus Virginia-Highland is Morningside, you get a little bit of a bigger lot. You're still close to a lot of attractions like Piedmont Park, but the prices are probably a little bit higher, and I think it's a little less walkable than Virginia-Highland, in my opinion anyway. In terms of where Morningside is located, so you on one side, on the west side, you have Midtown. Morningside really runs up along part of Piedmont Park, and then to the north of it you have Buckhead, and then on the east side you have Druid Hills, and then of course the south side is Virginia-Highland. But as I said, Morningside is really close to Piedmont Park access. Now, if you're thinking Beltline access, it depends on where you live. Like if you are between Monroe and North Highland Avenue, you're probably, within half a mile to a mile to the Beltline access over at Piedmont Park. And that section is not actually done yet. It's still gravel, but it's there. It will be paved at some point in the future. But then, other things like grocery shopping, your best bet is going to be Ansley Mall, just up north on Piedmont Avenue. They've got a Kroger, a Publix, there's an LA Fitness, there's a Fidippity's running store if you want to get running shoes. They've got a couple, I have this furniture store there that I love. It's called Intaglia. They have some great furniture there, and there's a couple of other little shops along that section. There's also a Sprouts just up Piedmont Road, and then one of my favorite Tex-Mex places besides Superica is it's a sister of theirs called Little Ray. So definitely check out that place sometime. They have some great Tex-Mex tacos. In terms of getting around, I'm going to throw up some maps here, but if you're trying to get to the airport from Morningside, you're looking at about a 20-minute commute. If you are wanting to get to downtown, perhaps you're going to be working there, that's about a 15-minute drive. And if you want to go out to Midtown for nightlife or restaurants or entertainment, that's about a 10-minute ride. Buckhead, 15 minutes. And then if you work over at the Emory CDC, the Children's Hospital, that corridor, it's about a 10-minute drive. So that's a really short commute. So Morningside, I always suggest, is a great location for those people that work at the CDC, the Emory area. What I love about Morningside is that they have some mature trees and they are just lining all the streets of this neighborhood. And they have a lot of parks. Not all of them have playgrounds. Like I'm standing in Sidney Marcus Park. There's the playground right behind me, and then they've got a little bit of green space behind me here. But they have a couple of other more like nature trails. I'll show you one of those. For example, the Morningside Nature Preserve. They've got another cute little park called Noble Park. I'll try to point that one out to you later. But it's also a very active community. They have a volunteer Morningside Lenox Park Association. So you can get involved that way. In terms of, festivals, because I have told you, if you've watched any of my previous videos, that a lot of these neighborhoods have their own special festival throughout the year. Morningside doesn't. They kind of tag team along with Virginia-Highland in the Summerfest festival that's in June. But Morningside does have a weekly farmers market that runs, I think, April through December, and that is now being held at the Morningside Presbyterian Church. So that's every Saturday, I believe, from 9 to 1. So that's always a fun stop to go to. And as far as other attractions, so Morningside does have a little commercial district. It's not as robust as Virginia-Highlands, but they do have a few restaurants, and I'll show you around that in a little while. But a couple of restaurants, a wine shop, a laundry or a dry cleaner service. So I'll show you that area in a little bit. But that's kind of like the only hub that you could walk to, and it's not really centrally located. So if you live a little further out, it's not something you're going to really want to walk to, but for those residents that live near there, it's a great little spot to walk to and grab lunch or a coffee or something like that. As far as schools, this is zoned to really, really good schools. Morningside Elementary School is one of the top rated schools in the Atlanta area, and then the middle school is the Howard Middle School, and then you have the Midtown High School. So the Morningside Elementary School currently is going under some renovations. So right now, all of the students that are in the elementary school are at a temporary location, the old Inman Middle School in Virginia-Highland. They'll be moving back into the Morningside Elementary School the fall of 2022. As far as home styles in this neighborhood, you're going to get a lot of the English Tudor style, which I love, and I'll take you down a couple of streets which is packed full of those. But you're also going to get a lot of craftsman style. There's some bungalows mixed in, newer construction, and there's been more and more modern homes that have been popping up, and of course the modern homes sell for a premium in this area. But this is a very affluent area, so the home prices are pretty steep. I mean, you're zoned to good schools and you've got a great location. I mean, I don't think I mentioned this, but you have pretty quick access to I-85. I forgot to mention that earlier. But in any case, the median sales price for a typical 4-bedroom, 3-bath house in this area is roughly $950,000. Now, townhomes in this area, there's not a ton of them. There's just a couple of places that I can think of, and the median sales price for a 2-bedroom, 2.5-bath townhome was $455,000. And then condos, again, not super prevalent in this area. It's single family home heavy, but the few condos that you can find in this neighborhood, a 1-bedroom, 1-bath is around $226,000 for the median sales price. Now that I've given you a brief overview of the Morningside neighborhood, let's go check out the main attraction, which is where all the little restaurants are, and then we'll go check out some homes after that. So here I am in Morningside Village, and there's a nice big parking lot right here, lots of restaurants all along here. So let me show you around. So if you are into wine, I highly suggest you go to Highland Fine Wine. They can give you suggestions if you don't really know what you want, but if you want to make a special order, they can definitely help you out in that regard. And then on the other side, the Doc Shay's Noodle House. It's a great option for like a quick takeout. My kids love the noodles. I love their salad. My husband loves their stir fry. So a great, quick, casual option. All right, I am just right by Noack's, which kind of has continental food, a great place for a brunch spot. And then a little further down, we have Whiskey Bird, which they kind of do like a fusion of Asian They have like good Asian bowls, could do great takeout orders. So definitely give Whiskey Bird a try as well. One of Morningside's hidden gems is actually behind the Morningside Village buildings. It's a little shop called Casseroles, and I'm going to walk to it now. Let me show you and I'll tell you more about it. So this Casseroles place is a great lifesaver if you just don't really feel like cooking, but you don't really want takeout. This is kind of like that, it feels like homemade, because it is homemade, but they have a huge selection of casseroles and they have daily specials, but they also have some staple items. I think my favorite thing that they make here is the beef bolognese lasagna, and I'm not even a lasagna fan, but it's pretty good, so definitely check it out sometime. All right, let's start checking out some homes, and I'm just walking down a typical street here in Morningside. Oops, I dropped my sunglasses, 1 second. And you'll see like right behind me, like this is a very new build, and my guess is, I didn't look up the home sales price, but my guess is it's close to $2 million, 1.8, I don't know, something like that. And then, you know, across the street, you'll have these smaller bungalows, and, you know, depending on how well done the bungalow is, you know, if it needs some work, if it's chopped up a bit. And remember, these homes are like built in the 1920s. So 1920 homes, they were not built with an open floor plan. So if they haven't been kind of renovated at all in terms of the layout, then those could sell in the 700s to 800s. But again, they're going to be a little quirky and funky. But a lot of these older homes, they will carve out the attic space to add another story, another bedroom. And so then you have that extra space, but sometimes it can be a little quirky because then you have all the other bedrooms on the first floor, but the primary is on the second floor. Not always the ideal situation for young families. But again, here you can see some older homes, and I've got like this new construction right here. But I'm going to take you down to a home example just down the road a bit that I can show you that recently sold. And this is going to be one of the higher priced homes in the neighborhood. Like I said, that the median sales price for homes in Morningside is around $950, but I would say if you want a fairly decent home over 3,000 square feet, 4 or 5 bedrooms, and not totally funky, then you're going to be paying at least 1.2, 1.3, and then like newer builds, that's going up to 2 million. A tear down is probably 500 to 600,000. Another new build. So they're tearing down a lot of homes that are, you know, really need to be torn down because they're just in disrepair, but they're replacing them with these huge homes with a garage, which is great. That's what everyone wants now, is garage and a basement. So, but here's one that I'm pulling up to that you will see right here. Check that out. So this one is a 6-bedroom, 6-bath home. It does have a 2-car garage. Let me put up some pictures here so you can kind of see what the inside looks like. But this was under 5,500 square feet, built in 2017. It sold for $2.3 million. Actually sold in 13 days and went $100K over the list price. And I love the backyard with the fireplace and the patio. And this has become very popular in these new builds of having like this outdoor living space. So that's kind of my most expensive example that I'm going to show you, but let's go check out some more homes. I mentioned this in my Virginia-Highland video, but Lanier is one of my favorite streets, and it stretches into the Morningside area. Just again, you got this median section in the street, so it doesn't feel quite as crowded, and the homes around here are just beautiful. And I gotta point out this house. Everyone knows this house because of the cow. We call it the cow house. All right, now I want to show you an option that was more in the under $1 million mark, and here is the home right here. So this home is a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, just over 2,100 square feet. It was on the market for only 3 days and sold for $842,000. It does have a carport. This home was built in 1947. Has a cozy, smaller living room area. The kitchen is a little bit more closed off than some of the more open home floor plans that we have seen. It does have a very large primary bedroom with that big sitting area, and it has a huge bathroom. In the backyard, it's got a very lush landscaping, a little bit smaller of a yard, but still very, very nice. So that's an example of something you can find in the 800K range. Now, I mentioned to you at the opening of my video that Morningside has tons of Tudor style homes, and I'm on a street now that has tons of them. So I'm gonna just show you a few options. Like, look at that one, super cute. I'm gonna keep walking up this hill. And did I mention that Morningside has tons of hills? Yeah, some are pretty steep. So if you are a runner or a walker, just know that there's really no good way to get around because you're gonna encounter lots and lots of hills. But yeah, here's another one. And if you haven't noticed, it's kind of that time around Halloween, so a lot of homes are being decorated for Halloween. Everyone gets in the spirit, but here's one more up here I'll show you. Here we go. Super cute. Yeah, and look, I mean, across the street, Tudor, 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 Tudor. Just a beautiful representation of Morningside right here. So I'm in an area of Morningside called Noble Park, and they have just the sweetest little playground that we have discovered recently with our kids. We take them here probably once a week. Let me show you the playground, it's super cute. One more home example for you, but just look at this neighborhood. It's so sweet, and I love this quiet street and the tree-lined street. I mean, it's so beautiful. Again, all the neighbors, super cute. But I'm coming up on this house. I'm gonna show you something that costs more than like 1.3 range. This home right here, it sold for 1.295, and it was a 4-bedroom, 3.5 bath, just over 3,200 square feet. It was built in 1930, but the kitchen is very lovely and renovated, that bright white kitchen. The upstairs and the primary bedroom, it's basically built out of the attic space. So that's an example that I was telling you about, how some of the bedrooms are carved out of the attic space, but it has a very expansive backyard. So that is one thing here in the Morningside area, is that because it is very hilly, not all the backyards are going to be flat. A lot of them will be sloped and maybe not even usable. So just depending on what your needs are for a backyard, you do want to pay attention to that. But with that said, let me take a cruise through some of the neighborhood just so you can kind of see the different home styles and get a feel for the neighborhood. mentioned, there are some more modern homes popping up in the neighborhood. So if you're a modern fan, I've got one for you. Just a quick example. Now this one sold. This one sold for $2.5 million roughly. It was 5,800 square feet, but it is right here. Let me show you. Before I wrap it up, I'm going to go show you the Morningside Nature Preserve, and it's just a park off of Lenox Road. It's 33 acres, but it's a great place to take your dog for a walk, and there's like a little sandbar with a stream through it that you can let your dog swim in. So it's a great hiking trail also because it's covered with trees, so you get a lot of shade. So here I am at the Morningside Nature Preserve. It's just off of Lenox Road. It's kind of on the edge of the Morningside neighborhood, and it's right by all these power lines, but you can see here's the entrance. It doesn't look pretty, but once you get underneath the tree coverage, it's actually really nice. So let me give you a sneak peek at what it's like. That was a little bit of a hike. It took me about 6-7 minutes, but here it is. Here's a little place you can take your dog. You can see that person has their dog taking a little swim right there, but on the weekends this little beach can be packed with puppies and dogs and their owners, but it's a great place for them to run without a leash on them, and it's a good place to just take a hike where the sun's not beating down on you. So there you go. There's Morningside Nature Preserve. All right, you guys, that is it for me today. I hope you enjoyed the tour of Morningside. And if Morningside was not your cup of tea, stay tuned for more videos of other neighborhoods that might fit your lifestyle and your budget. But hey, if you are going to be moving tomorrow or maybe a year from today and you got questions, definitely hit me up. You can send me a text, send me an email, give me a call, put your questions in that comments box below. But until next time, you guys, I will see you later. I gotta start hiking back. You guys have made me work today, working up a sweat. See you later.